Hi everyone and welcome back to HESI Vocab video number 2. In this video I did things a little differently. I wanted to replicate the test a little bit better. So one of the things that I noticed was on the test they would give me a sentence and then they would say, in the previous sentence the word blank, it most nearly means which of the following. So an example would be this question here. Generous donors gave an aggregate of $35,000 to charity. And then it would say after that, in the previous sentence, the word aggregate most nearly means what? Instead of me typing that question over and over again, I'm just highlighting in green the word that I want you to be focusing on. So in this example, the word aggregate most nearly means which of the following? Amount, money, total sum, or estimate. You can pause the video if you would like. I'm going to try to go through these answers a little bit faster than last time. So the answer to this one is total sum. A lot of these were still kind of good choices, I guess you could say, like it's an amount of money and it is money, but the word aggregate really means a cumulative total, a total sum. Cardiology most nearly means which of the following? Diseases of the heart, the brain, the circulatory system, or the kidneys? The answer is diseases of the heart. Narcotic analgesics are contraindicated in patients with known opiate addiction. Now we're going to use this sentence a couple times, you'll see. So in this sentence, what does analgesics most nearly mean? Pain reliever, medicine, antacid, or laxative? The answer is pain reliever. You'll often see this in the CVS or Rite Aid aisles. It'll say analgesics on the signs above where they have Advil and Tylenol. I remember the first few times I saw that I actually didn't know what that meant. When I was looking for my Advil, I was like, where is Advil? And I was looking for painkillers or medicine, and it actually says, at least at Rite Aid, I think it says analgesics. So it means pain reliever. In the same sentence, what does the word contraindicated mean? Does it mean encouraged, not recommended, increased, or effective? The answer is not recommended. So what they're saying here is people who had a past addiction or current addiction to painkillers should probably avoid taking some type of a narcotic painkiller because they're addicted to it, so you want to try to avoid giving them that and instead maybe give them Advil or Tylenol. In this sentence, what does the word deficit mean? The patient has a calcium deficit. Does deficit mean constant, excess, lack of, or average? The answer is lack of. So they don't have enough calcium, they're lacking calcium. Lateral, what does that mean as far as anatomy terms are concerned? Does it mean toward the feet, the side of the body, toward the head, or nearer to the trunk of the body? Lateral means the side of the body. Definitely want to know lateral and medial. Medial meaning towards the midline. This word I know for sure was on my test. I remember this one. The young child's belly was distended. Does that mean small, aching, inflamed, or enlarged? Distended. Distended means enlarged. This was one of the ones I had to put on my flashcards because I just couldn't quite remember it. It just for some reason doesn't sound like enlarged to me, but that's what distended means. It means enlarged. The next question is, the patient's heart rate is too labile. What does labile mean? Fast, slow, sensitive, or changing frequently? The answer is changing frequently. I can't remember if this one was on my test, but this was in almost every study guide I looked at, so it must be a word that they do test a lot, so I would make sure you know this one. I'm really sorry, but it looks like I didn't have the question for this without the answer. So it was supposed to say, what does latent mean? So it was a latent defect. That means inactive. It basically means present but unknown. So a present but unknown type of defect, probably because it's an inactive defect, but you still actually have it. It could be health related. It could also exist in products liability, but that's what latent means. Uncommunicative most nearly means which of the following? Taciturn, repugnant, omnipotent, or recalcitrant. This one I intentionally did something here which I know I was not good at when I was studying, which is if I got the answer correct, but I didn't know some of the other answers, I didn't look them up at times, and I started to realize that I needed to do that. So I intentionally included kind of like a bunch of different words here that you should know all of these for the test. But in this particular example, the word uncommunicative most nearly means taciturn. The next sentence is, her untoward behavior made her unpopular. Untoward means negative, eager, stealthy, or professional. In this case, untoward behavior would mean negative behavior. It's really maybe not the best definition of untoward, but it's the best option here. This word was on my test, triage. Triage most nearly means which of the following? A process of evaluating urgency, bandaging a wound, preparing for x-ray, or grouping in sets of 3. I gave you almost all answers here that at one time I thought triage might be. The answer is the process of evaluating urgency. Eradicate. Does that mean radiate, overrule, destroy completely, or wean off a substance? Eradicate means, okay, I didn't, sorry, I didn't pick the answer here apparently, but eradicate means destroy completely. Oh, there it is. The next question is, the opposite of docile. Does that mean lively, tame, manageable, or easy to handle? So remember, the question here is asking you for the opposite. So in this case, you actually have 3 answers that all kind of define the word docile and only one that does not. So tame, manageable, and easy to handle are all relevant meanings of the word docile, which means the opposite has to be lively. And they did ask me a couple questions like this on my test where they say the opposite of something. So you have to make sure you're tuning into the directions they're giving you. And the last one I have is, the opposite of abstain is most nearly which of the following? Refrain from doing something, appear sluggish, speak clearly, or take an action. The opposite of abstain, which means to refrain from doing something, and that's why I included it as one of the answers. That's a little bit of a trick answer there. Make sure you're not just jumping to the definition of the word that you see, because it could be asking you for the opposite. So the opposite of refraining from doing something would be to take an action. And that's all I have for this video. I hope this helps, and good luck on your test.